Well, good morning, my friends. This is Jamie coming at you live on Instagram and Facebook at the same time. If you're catching me live or if you're catching me on a replay, say, hey, girl, hey. My title today, this feels like a journal. You know what's funny? When I was typing in the title, it said, you know how it gives you word suggestions, and it says, instead of journal, it said journey. And I'm like, yeah. This is a journey, right? So, for those of you that don't know the story, and you're like, Jerry's her son? He doesn't look much like her. Shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. First of all, Jerry is our son because we adopted him. Ooh, man, over 3 years now. Crazy, time's going fast. I will tell you that, when we first started out as foster parents, we said that we would not adopt anyone unless we would foster only kids that were over 18, over 10 years old. A lot of the parents, hi, Chocolate. You haven't been exhausted enough from our walk this morning. You just decided to come visit. We decided that we would foster kids 10 years old and up because a lot of the parents like to foster the babies and the younger ones. Oh my goodness. I need to take Zing. I forgot. Yes, it's time to take my energy pill. So, the reason we made that decision is primarily because what happens is everyone's like, oh, the babies are so cute. Oh, they have a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old, whatever. We didn't have any children in this house at all. And if we can give back, our hearts were just, the Lord just put on our hearts to take the older kids. A lot of times people don't want them because they have their habits, they have their patterns. They have a lot that they're going through with pain, dealing with the separation and being removed from the household. So, and they can't be adopted after the age of 12 if they say, you know what, I don't want to be adopted. For some strange reason, the court thinks a 12-year-old can make that decision because all your mental faculties are there. You have plenty of knowledge. You got lots of critical thinking skills. Go ahead, you'll be fine. So if they say, no, I don't want to be adopted, then you can't adopt them, no matter how badly they need it. So we found that out much, much later into the process. But we had 2 brothers at the time, and one of them said they didn't want to be adopted out of peer pressure from the family. So, but anyway, I digress. So we had those 2 boys here. It was heartbreaking that we couldn't adopt them, and so we took a year off from fostering. Yeah, I needed the break. I really did. And we need to heal our hearts, because in our head, in our mind, they were already our sons. So to tell me that they can't stay here now, and all the stuff that we were going through with them, and the issues they were going through, dealing with that, it was too much. Oh, and to also tell you guys, there are just amazing things going on with them. When you think you're not planting seeds, you're planting seeds. You know, this is to encourage anyone who's fostering, to let you know that these boys came back. They're still in our lives. We still talk to them. And the surprise visit that we got from one of the boys, we were fostering 2 brothers. When we got them, they were 10 and 12 years old. And so, yeah, it was amazing to have them in our home for that long of a time. We had them for 3 years. They came back to us, you know, after all this was done and over with, and we're like, oh, you know what? It was horrible being in foster care, but we really learned a lot from you. And it's just amazing. So this is just to encourage you. If you think you're not planting seeds, you're planting seeds. And God is going to root those seeds up and let them sprout. So they're doing quite well. And we are still, you know, in contact with them. But back to Jerry, our son, who stayed. When we came back into being foster parents again after taking that year off, we got a phone call. You're immediately put on this emergency list. If you want to be. You don't have to. It's your choice. We got put on the emergency list, and we got a phone call from a social worker at DCS, and she said, listen, I got this boy. He's a 10-year-old white male, and he family is about to be disrupted. And what that means is the foster family that has them is no longer able to keep them for whatever reason. And there's no judgment there because, I mean, obviously it happened with us. But there's no judgment there. And they said, you know what, we can't. And so they need to be removed today. And we were like, whoa, okay. And we just talked about it for like 2 minutes. We're like, 10-year-old boy, sounds good? Sound good, Jeff? Yeah, sounds good to me. Okay, good, we'll take him. And she proceeded to tell us the story. Sorry, dry lips, chapstick, gotta do it. Well, not chapstick, lipsticks. She says, the foster mother has his 2 siblings, his sister and his brother that are younger. The oldest brother is in a group home who's been really, really struggling and not wanting to be living with a family. Obviously, since he's over 12, he can decide not to be adopted. He wants nothing to do with this DCS stuff and keeps running away from the group home. So they were losing him, then they find him. Then they lose him, then he go back. So that was a hot mess there. But she said that out of the 3 kids she had a biological of her own child. And she said that Jerry and her biological son argued a lot, and she no longer wanted to adopt him, but she was willing to adopt his 2 siblings, and he needed to leave today. And like I said, I don't have a judgment against someone that needs to disrupt. What I'm saying is the manner in which she disrupted, I had a problem with that, and so did Jeff. What she did was she walked up to him and said to his face, "Your siblings can stay, but you got to get out of here." And I can't even fathom why someone would think that that was a good thing to do to their child or the sibling. I mean, to have all 3 siblings in your home that you're fostering, 2 boys and a girl, to walk up to one of them in their face and said, "I'll adopt your brother and your sister, but you can't stay here." And so that is what my son experienced. And she told him that. And usually what happens if there's going to be a disruption, you usually don't do that. And the social worker will either see them at school when they leave that day and talk to them and say, "Listen, you're not going to go back home. I got some of your stuff packed. We got another place for you to go." And at that time, when she contacted us, she said, "We don't have a bed for this kid. And he's 10 years old. We're going to have him sleep at the office." And my husband and I were like, "Oh, heck to the no." So we were like, "Yeah, bring him over." But she must not have understood our email when we said that, because she said, "It's just really important that we find a place for him because I don't want him to sleep at the office," and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, did she not even read what we said? Or maybe she was thinking we needed more time to think about it or whatever. We were just like, no, bring this kid. And so she picked him up at the house, unaware that he had already been told he was leaving there. So his things were packed. And so she was a little shocked, like, "You told him he can't, like, whatever." And he was very hurt, obviously, because when someone says that to you, you feel like there's something wrong with you. Why would you keep my brother and my sister? Why do you not want me? What's wrong with me? So he came very hurt, and I like this one person I follow. She says, "He wasn't broken, he was bent." Okay? So we needed to, watch God unbend him. And so the last 3 years that Jerry has been in our home, he's been being shaped and reformed by the Lord. And, we've just watched him go through this transformation, and the pain and the hurt and the anger. And, like I said, today's his 2nd day of school. And he was doing so good, right? First of all, he fell off his bike on his way to school. But he got up, and he said some guy pulled over and yelled across the street. He's like, "Hey, are you okay? You all right?" He goes, Yeah, I'm fine, you know. But that was sweet. So there's still good people out there, in case you're wondering. He got up, got back on the bike. He was like not even a quarter mile from the school. Gets to the school. I had to go straight to the office because his schedule wasn't set up yet for some whatever reason. He got his schedule and went through all the classes because we didn't have a schedule. When I was there for parents' night, we couldn't walk through all the classes one by one because we didn't have the correct schedule. So we went to a couple of the rooms, and so he knew where they were. He gets to the second to the last class. He walks in, sits down, made a friend, right? Him and his friend are talking. Not paying attention. Goes through attendance. Didn't realize his name was not called. Okay? So, he's in the wrong class, right? Gets up to leave for the next class, his last class of the day. Looks at his schedule and realizes, oh, this is my last classroom. But I was here. So he looks up and realized he missed his last class. So I told him today, I said, hey, dude, you gotta tell your teacher I wasn't paying attention. I said, you know, that's why they take roll in class. You know, that's why they take attendance. And he was like, I never thought of that before. You're 12. You're going to be 13 in November. What do you mean you didn't think of it before? Well, that's a good idea. They take attendance. Yeah, it's even a better idea if you pay attention while they take attendance. So helpful. I love this kid, man. He makes me laugh. He gets on my last nerve. And he's so sweet. And he's so kind. And we're just praying for him. And I just ask all of you guys to pray for him because there are a lot of things that he's going through with this new school. He never has a problem making friends and talking to people. He's very social like Jeff and myself. But what we have noticed with him is his confidence is lacking. And this new school, okay, so he's going to a private Christian school, is amazing. He has so much responsibility for 7th grade right now. He's got emails. He got up this morning, he had to check his email. And he had sent emails to the IT department because some things weren't working. They got fixed. And his teacher sent him an email and said, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I feel like I have a job. I said, honey, you've always had a job. Your job was your chores here around the house, and we paid you for them. I'm like, that's your job, to take care of the household. But he's like, it's like, I leave 7:30 in the morning. I don't come home till blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I can see where that feels like a job. But I said, see how important it is to be responsible? What do you think you're learning right now? He's like, well, this is stuff I'm going to have to do when I get a real job. I'm going to have to learn how to use email and PowerPoint and Word documents and Excel. And I'm going to have to email IT if something goes wrong. And he's learning to form the emails like a letter, you know, and it's like, hello, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, and here's my issue, and please help me, and, you know, have a good day. And I'm teaching him, you know, you don't yell at someone when you're having a problem, because if you do, they're probably not going to be very eager to help you, and you might be the last person on their to-do list, you know, and just to, you know, be kind to people, you know. And so he's learning these things, and I can see his heart starting to soften a little bit. But you know, anyone that's out there and you understand, please pray for his salvation, because it's very important to us, and it's very important for his soul, you know, obviously. But yeah, it feels more like a journal than it feels more like a journey than a journal. It's the journey of our son, because we love him, you know, and we just want him to succeed and do well, and we just really want him to understand that what he's doing now is going to go with him the rest of his life. Like, you're learning things now in school that will go with you the rest of your life. And I love how this principal explained it. You know, he's like, these are things that you will be using because you're maturing. You're maturing and you're growing, you know, and so that's what we really want him to know and understand. And it's been a pretty cool journey, I must say. Hey, this almost matches, right? Yeah, it's been a pretty cool journey, I gotta admit. Oh, you know what? And I cannot forget. Please pray for his previous foster family. because she did adopt his siblings. She has changed her phone number, removed contact, and so we have no way of getting a hold of his brother and sister. And the one that was just out and about, we don't even know where he is. I'm pretty sure he turned 18 already, so not sure what's going on with him. But our main concern is just that he gets some contact with them again. We know when they turn 18, he'll be able to, but right now, he doesn't even know. In his mind, when this all first happened, the first thing he thought was, oh no, my siblings are going to die from COVID. That's the first thing he thought. And now that he has better understanding of everything, that fear's not there. But we don't know why his previous foster mother chose to disconnect and not give him contact to his siblings after she adopted them. And she changed their names. She changed their first names, which we did know that. But obviously their last names are changed as well. So anyway, just pray for that, for him. And yes, he made it through the first day of school. They sent him home. Dang it. He came back home too, I'll tell you. They did call me because he rides his bike and I don't pick him up because the school's real close. And so they're like, yeah, we're calling to make sure we have permission to send Jerry home on his bike. I'm like, you mean I can tell you not to? That's an option? Wait a minute. Let me rethink this. He's like, Mom, tell them I can come home. All right, let him home. Let him come home. But that's an option. Like, why are you giving parents that option? What are you thinking? Anyway, I leave you on that note. Make it a blessed hump day. God bless you all. I love you guys. And, yes, please continue to pray for us and for Jerry and his journey. All right, take care and God bless. I'm leaving Instagram. Ooh, look how good. I'm getting fast at this now, people. Let me tell you. I am on it. I'm telling you, I'm on it. And now I'm leaving Facebook.